about plant versus the animal-based products is that plant foods have absolutely no cholesterol. So you don't get any cholesterol from plant-based products. Whereas in animal-based products like milk, you do have plenty of cholesterol, and that's what you're getting into your body. So by switching to a plant-based diet, you're cutting out cholesterol completely. Of course, your body will produce its own cholesterol, which is the natural amount of cholesterol it requires. But you're not adding external cholesterol into your system. The first question is, where does the cow get its nutrients from? It's coming from grass, it's coming from plants. So all one has to do, now being vegan doesn't automatically make it healthy, but yes, it is a far healthier than a non-vegan diet to begin with. And you just introduce a lot more plants, greens, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds into your diet, and then the protein is made up. So whatever protein you get out of animal products, you get plenty of nuts, protein, calcium. There are many things that you can do. This is a very old, though vegans use it a lot now, this is a starter that's a part of a very old, in the Indian culture. So we use chili crowns. So this is the top, the twig part of the chili along with the cap, the crown. So you just pull that off. So you wash the green chilies and then you pull out the crown. Do not wash the crowns again. The cultures, the precious cultures live in here. So you need to put about, for say this quantity of milk, you would put about 10 to 12 crowns. You just put it, stir it with your hand preferably, because again more cultures. Just stir it, close it and leave it. In about 8 to 10 hours, the peanut curd will be set. So you'll have a nicely set peanut curd. But if you want it to be more sour, it takes longer time to sour than dairy would. So if you want it to sour, leave it outside for 24 hours. And then it'll have a very nice, sour flavor. Then you put it in the fridge. It will last there for a minimum of 10 days. It may last longer, but I don't know because I finished it well before that. So it's got a long shelf life. So that's another beautiful thing about plant-based products, because they just last longer. So that's how you make, peanut curds. Important point, since Charmila asked this. See, the first time you make it, use the chili crumbs as a starter, but always save your peanut curd for the next. Because with generations, the taste improves. Always with any fermented products, curds, anything, as you keep using the previous batch for the next, the taste improves. So keep it, save it. So yeah, as I said, you can use the same procedure. Start with soya beans, soak the soya beans overnight. You have to wash them very well. After soaking, you wash it, remove as much of the peels, the skin as possible on top. And then you use that same procedure. You just grind it well, cook it well, strain it, and then set it into curds or use it as milk. Cashew curds. Cashew is much easier. Rice milk that can be made, but that is good as buttermilk, not so much as curds, because it doesn't set. Rice milk is the light. It's a watery thing, starchy and watery. But the buttermilk tastes very nice and it's very light and it's really good. And of course, with this you can make any curd-based dish that goes without saying. Every time I would stress that you start with a dry blender jar, because you don't have very powerful mixies at home. So you can do it in your chutney grinder, the chutney jar, then it gets done even better. So grind it really well, as much as you can. It should start releasing the oils and become lightly buttery, and as much as possible. And then add a little water at a time, make it into a paste, grind it into a paste. Then add as much water as you like, depending on the consistency that you want. Now, it's as simple as that. You put less water, it's cashew cream. And if you put more water, it's cashew curds. That's it. So you can use it in desserts, you can use it, cashew milk is delicious for, it's one of the best combinations with tea. With chai, what we make, masala chai, whatever chai at home, cashew milk is a very, very nice combination with that. So you can make it with that. And of course, even your curries, your North Indian curries and stuff, you want to put, instead of cream, you put cashew cream. today what we're going to do, we're going to show malai kofta. So the kofta, the curry for the sauce for the kofta, that malai is the cashew malai that you'll be seeing.
Otherwise also we use cashew.
Otherwise, yeah, it's used very regularly. See, that's the thing, like, again, I repeat this, that we eat a lot of vegan food, in Indian food, yeah, most of it is vegan to begin with. So what I'll show you is, so one of the desserts on our menu today is Basundi. So Basundi is a dessert that's usually made with milk, and then they keep cooking it so it becomes more creamy. It's more like a condensed milk, so it takes a little bit of effort. And we are going to make a vegan Basundi in under 5 minutes. So it's one of those, it's dangerously easy to make. So you can use sugar to sweeten it, or you can use something else if you prefer not to use sugar. We'll just use sugar today and show you. So the same way we make the cashew milk, how I explained to you. So that's how you start with Basundi. So you grind, the only thing is, you put, so you take your cashews and then you put sugar in it and then you grind it. And you do the same procedure where you first make it into a smooth, into a fine powder, as smooth as possible, then add a little water. That's it. It's just what he showed you, that's all it is. You just grind it with sugar and make it into a cream milk. Then to that you add saffron and pistachios. You just put it on top and that's it. That's your Basundi, that's your vegan Basundi. Of course you'll get to taste it and it's unbelievably good. It's a very delicious thing.
There's no boiling of the...
No, there's absolutely no need to cook it, and you get the maximum nutrients of everything because it's raw. Except for the sugar, this is a raw dish. If you want to keep it completely raw, you can also, use a couple of soaked dates instead of sugar. It will change the taste a bit, but it will still be delicious. So you can use that, and then it's a completely raw dish. So.
Or
Salt.
You want me to remove these wooden blocks?
Jeera powder. Dhania powder. Kasuri methi. Mustard oil. Now you can use other oil, but mustard oil enhances the tikka flavor. It gives it that more Punjabi kind of a taste. And chili powder. So as I said, you could use vegan curds in place of tamarind, but it's very delicious with just tamarind pulp. Make it as pasty as you like, weak enough quantities. He just put a random amount, so it goes by taste. So there's no exact amount of the spices. You put as much as you like, depending on your taste. Yeah. Green chilies, putting a little bit of chopped green chilies. Coriander.
Do you want to see the marinade mix? Or you want to see? Ajay, but yeah, you can go ahead.
Whatever bell peppers if you want. It's any combination of vegetables. So what we're going to do is skewer this and make it in the tandoor. At home you can bake it in an oven, or you can even do it on your tawa. You don't even have to skewer it. You can just kind of stir fry it and serve it. That's good. Yeah, so you let it marinate for a minimum of half an hour to an hour. Of course, if you leave it overnight in the fridge, let it marinate overnight in the fridge, it tastes much better, but a minimum of half to 1 hour if you're in a hurry.
Baking it or doing it in your microwave, you can just skewer them out.
So when you're baking it or in the microwave, that is if you're using the convection mode of the microwave, do it on high, like 250. It's kind of like grilling. So if you grill it, it's tastier. You can just bake it too, but grilling gives it a better flavor. So yeah, preferably use a Teflon or a ceramic coated, a non-stick one so that the masala doesn't stick to the bottom. You could also give it a little more smoking by doing it directly on the fire, like on your gas stove. Just grill it. Tofu, and that gives you that creamy texture. So you mashed So he's boiled and again grated the potatoes, and same thing with the tofu. It's just been tofu, grated tofu and grated potato. Little bit of elaichi powder, white pepper. I think you can use regular pepper too, but white pepper goes with the look. Go white, that's the look of, because everything that goes into it is good. Salt. Optionally, you can add some dry fruits in there, some raisins, some nuts, chopped nuts. It's up to you. If you want to make it a very rich malai kofta, you can add the dry fruits. So, what he does with the dry fruits is, he won't mix it in. You don't mix it into this. You make the balls and then you put the dry fruits in the center. So he's made a ball, rolled it around in corn flour, and then he's putting the nuts in the middle and rolling it up, closing it up.
Binding happens with the
corn flour and the potato, both of them put together. You can see and put how much corn flour you want, depending on the quantity. You can put a spoon or two, just try it. And of course, when you're rolling it, if you put corn flour on the surface and then roll it, it will be less sticky. It won't stick to your hand.
Tofu, the availability of tofu.
Tofu is very easily available. Any brand is fine. You can just use it, no problem. You get it in You can try that too, no problem. You can make, they usually put koya, right? So instead of koya, we're doing tofu, but you can make thick cashew cream, like really thick, making your paste more like a cashew butter. And you can use that instead. You can try that. In that case, don't mix it with the potato. What you do is put a little in the middle. To give it the creamy center. You can put it in that's how they normally make kofta. They put it in the middle. That's how to do that. If you want to avoid tofu, that's no problem. He makes this cute. So it deep fried or baked. It's up. If you're baking it, just rub a little oil on the baking. For the sauce for the malai kofta, so he uses a cashew based. So you can use, again, it's up to you because there are different kinds of sauces that are made for malai kofta. You can use a cashew cream in a tomato based sauce if you want, or you can use a purely cashew. If you want a sweetish kofta, you can use a purely cashew one if you want. So he does it in a purely cashew based sauce. Here are your deep fried koftas. You can see them. इस sauce में क्या क्या डालते हैं? Again, since we're going to use a lot of cashew in this, see, this is a cashew milk, cashew cream. He just blended it and cooked it and he's made it into thick cream and he's kept it. So you could just use that, you blend it and use the cashew cream, add that. See again, if you want to reduce oil, that's fine too, because anyway cashew has plenty of oil. So you can cook your ginger garlic paste even without oil if you want, just a light cooking, and then you add the cashew cream to it. So it's absolutely okay. How much salt you add, because it tends to be very strong in cashew. Cashew doesn't cover up the salt very well, so add little at a time, then add more later. Elaichi powder. White pepper. Okay, so you can use white pepper or green chili paste. It's up to you. So green chili paste तो oil में डालना है ना readily. If you want it to be on the sweeter side, you can add some sugar in there. That's up to you again. Again, remember cashew is sweet to begin with. So adjust it. Put a little at a time, add more later if required. So there's Sierra water. So if you want, optionally you can use this in the end, add a bit of it for flavor. Simmering, you add the kofta balls. So he added some water so that it doesn't boil too much. The balls shouldn't break, right? So simmer them a bit for a while. The next thing we're going to show you is kadhi. That is their famous dish, Solkadi's famous dish. According to what Nirmala said, the kadhi made of peanut curds is better than their regular kadhi, which already is supposed to be good to begin with. And see, I'm telling you why Nirmala said it, to clarify that it's not a vegan person who's saying it. So it's something that people do.
Pakoda.
Yes, pakoda.
But you can choose the way you want to do it at home. You have like some fried ice cream.
Right, yeah. If you don't have sour curds, no problem. You adjust it. You can add some. So what he adds is amchur powder to add more sourness to it. So even though we're starting with sour curds, we're still going to add some amchur powder to it. Okay, dhania and jeera. Whole dhania and whole jeera. So lightly toasted in the oil. Okay. Finely chopped garlic or crushed garlic, up to you. Chopped onions, sliced onions, thinly sliced. So he has mixed besan with curds to make a very thick cream, and he has kept that aside. Just turmeric powder. So that's the curds and basin. I think nicely mixed so that there are no lumps. No, he's mixed that and kept it aside. Now we're going to cook it. So that is your peanut curds and it's this. I think you can use a food processor too if you want.
Just reach your hand.
Amchur powder.
You don't need any extra work to do.
So basically, you're washing the yeah, washing the grinder jar. No, that's an extra. The basin mixes well. It doesn't get lumpy like certain other flours. No, basin gets mixed well. So easily you can do it with your hand also. You don't even need a basin.
No, if you put basin in something,
fork, whatever.
if you put basin in something warm, it gets into lump. Like that is warm. If you put basin,
If it's cold, it will. Yeah. So he's put amchur powder and salt now.
you are not adding extra water inside.
To which one?
Basin and curd, no extra water.
No, he added some. You can, not to
It
this.
depends on how you
To
want.
this you don't add extra water. When you're cooking it, you can add a little water to adjust the consistency to how you would like the curry to be. That's up to you. Again, you can add a little water while cooking, not beforehand. Okay. So he has previously fried red chilies, that is roasted red chilies, and he's just adding them whole into the curry, just to get that little bit of flavor.
Is it not in the curry or not in the
Okay, so he has already prepared the pakoras. Okay. Look at them. So that's like a regular onion pakoda. Onion, basin, ajwain, curry leaves, salt, chili powder. Just make it and deep fry it. So the pakoda, you make it and then you keep it aside. Yeah. So that's, let it cool and then put it into the curry.
Does this mix also have turmeric powder?
It has a bright yellow.
Yeah.
But you put some turmeric in there too, so even if you don't put it here, you can. So that's it. You don't cook it for long. You just, very quickly. Otherwise, the pakoda will fall apart. And it's anyway going to soak for some more time. So cook it for just barely a few minutes, half a minute, I guess, not even more than that. This curry will be the best dish of today. Better than the desserts also. It's really tasty. Okay, so he's going to make some tadka and put it on top. This saves you a little bit more labor because this takes time to cook. Whereas the steamed one, you steam it and just grate it and you don't have to keep on stirring it to cook. Sure. That's a little quicker also. Yep. If people avoid microwave, then just out to this. The same what we use for the kofta, thick cashew cream. If you are used to making it with khoya, then you can make the cashew cream even more thick if that's what you prefer. You can even either you can cook it like this with cashew cream, or you can make it really thick, like maybe even like powdered cashew without even the water, and then you can just add it in. So that gives a very thick khoya kind of a taste. Now, it's up to you again. You can before you start cooking the carrots, you put a couple of cloves in the carrots. That's good.
protein also add dry fruits.
And that's going to be added. So, if you want to reduce the amount of sugar, even eliminate the sugar completely, you can chop dates and raisins and you can add that instead of the sugar. It tastes quite yummy and it's, you don't have the processed sugar in it. So that's a great way to make it even more healthy. Dilip's very happy. He doesn't use sugar. So. Yeah, so chopped dry fruits, like nuts, chopped nuts and stuff. So do add, even if you're adding some sugar, do add chopped dates because it really gives it a very tasty, it's very tasty. And dates makes it a little more heavy, so a little goes a long way. You feel satisfied with a small amount. Of course, because this has no ghee and soya, you're fine to have large amounts too. It's really not a problem. But soy, you have to remove the skin as much as possible, and none of the others you need to remove the skin. So you do almond milk. You soak it overnight, wash it well. Now the reason you soak almonds, one is of course to extract the milk easily, and also soaking and removing the water removes a lot of enzyme inhibitors that are on the peel. So what happens is you get to absorb the nutrients better, much better when you have soaked the almonds at least 6 to 8 hours and then wash it well. You can grind the almond into a paste. With the skin you grind it, but almond you have to strain it. It's raw, you don't have to cook it, but you strain it through a cloth. If you're going to use it in something like smoothies, then you can add it for texture, with the peel, with the paste. But if you want to use just almond milk, then strain it through a cloth, strain it very well. Now the pulps, like Chef Ajay made something very interesting with the peanut pulp, I heard. Starter banaya, the peanut. I don't come and strain my peanut curds, but if I ever do, I use the pulp, I mix it into my chapati dough, or when you're making dals or sambar as a thickener, a couple of spoons. It can stay in the fridge again, as I said, for a week minimum, week to 10 days, but you can freeze it and it will last for much longer also. So you can figure out, you can do something creative with it. So none of the pulps need to be wasted. They can all be used for something, and something tasty. And a good thing, especially for soy pulp, if you're making soybeans in the pulp, that pulp is called okara, and it's really healthy for you because it's a very easily available digestible protein because it's been cooked and the milk has been extracted. So again, that also I use a bit of it in the chapati or again sambar, whatever, in place of coconut. It can be used in many different ways. So that's clarified.
Everyone's suitably hungry now.
Yeah.
So just a little introduction about Soul Curry. I don't know how many of you have been here. So it's Under the Mango Tree has been around for long, and Susmita and I got in touch about a year and a half back when she had requested for a vegan menu at Under the Mango Tree. So which to me was very surprising. We make pastas, we make steak, we make pizzas. But it's again something that you'd like to explore and know more about is when she helped out saying instead of applying a cheese base, you apply your pesto base and add whatever other vegetables you want and make your pizza. Similarly, our bruschetta went that way, and for pasta, which we didn't make, but she offered to teach us the cream sauce as well, which I'm sure goes on the same lines. So that's something which we ran for a whole month, and we had a lot of vegan community come in. So the whole thing came about because we were discussing and said when people say vegan, it sounds a little stylish, I'm turning vegan. So you don't have to think that when it is vegan, I have to be adding broccoli and asparagus to my food and it becomes vegan. No. Indian food, what you eat at home, like how she mentioned, most of the time is vegan unless you're a 3-time non-veg eater. But daily food that you can eat and small things that you substitute and add in. So what we offered and discussed here is Soul Curry menu will also have a vegan section. Desserts will be mostly people reserve prior, then it's easier so that you make fresh and eat. The rest of the items, even the others don't mind trying and they can eat. They just need to move faster, so anyone who decides to come in a group or a bunch, or even one person who says, I'm meeting, I'm coming at 7:30 this evening, so if you could keep something ready, that can be done as well. So that's what this whole initiative was about. One, of course, to break the myth that it's all very high end and cannot be done, and secondly, to impart some information. And also that we'll be launching this menu as part of our regular menu, wherein non-veg is served in this restaurant. So that's just one part of it. But in the same group, as you'll find, there are vegetarians and non-vegetarians in the same family, and vegan or a plain vegetarian in the same family. So we have options for both or all three members of the family at the restaurant. Yeah. So I think we'll take a short break while we set up the food for you.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Aditi because it was her idea, her initiative to make this happen.